Millie sent me a video of her dancing with her whole team. And then there were so many other people who have sent me videos of others around the country dancing to that. There's so many memes made on that, so many reels made. The reels that are made on it, my God, I can't just get over it. You put your Instagram on and you only hear that music.
Yeah.
My brother is so happy. My dad is so happy. My mom is so happy. My mom, whenever I'm walking around, मेरा animal कहाँ जा रहा है? मेरा animal आ गया. Because he's always sitting on the phone and looking at Instagram and YouTube and he says, he said he was so happy. I said, Papa, I'm your son. It had to happen. When Sandeep called me, messaged me, I didn't believe it was him. So I found out and it was him. So I called him and I met him and he meets me and guess what he says to me? He says to me that I saw this photograph of yours and I want you to take you because the expression in your eyes, this is what I want. And he shows me the picture. And the picture is from CCL. I was enjoying every moment of it, this opportunity to play this evil character who doesn't speak. Sandeep showed me on his phone between Ranbir and Anil Kapoor and they were just amazing. I mean, on the phone I'm watching a scene, not fully mixed, nothing, not even dubbed. I always believe that hard work turns into luck. I always believe that people wait for luck to happen. It's not like that. For me, it's not like that. I was not someone who was insecure, so I never thought that, the whole system was changing.
His journey has not been easy, but today I can say that the results are fantastic. He's finally getting what he deserves and rightly so. Today, I am inviting somebody whose journey has been path-breaking. On our show, PathBreakers 2023, welcoming Bobby Deol after the phenomenal success of Animal. Thank you, sir, for joining us on Galatta India. My first interview again, which is with you. Okay. And I can't tell you how happy everybody feels who knows you to see the success and to see the appreciation you are getting. I want to start off by asking that today it's reached a level which is unimaginable, but did you predict it from the very beginning?
I always had a gut feeling about this film. From the moment Sandeep met me while shooting for the film, it became even stronger. It's like every day I was on the sets and I could see the scenes I'm doing. I was enjoying every moment of it, this opportunity to play this evil character who doesn't speak. And not just that, when I was doing the action with Ranbir, that whole thing was so amazingly done. Plus I saw some scenes Sandeep showed me on his phone between Ranbir and Anil Kapoor and they were just amazing, man. I mean, on the phone I'm watching a scene, not fully mixed, nothing, not even dubbed. And so I always had a good feeling, but I never expected the results to be this amazing. The love it's getting, the craze it's become. Like my introduction song has become so viral, I never even imagined that. Like Millie sent me a video of her dancing with her whole team. And then there were so many other people who have sent me videos of others around the country dancing to that. There's so many memes made on that, so many reels made. The reels that are made on it, my God, I can't just get over it. You put your Instagram on and you only hear that music.
Yeah, it is the most viral trend right now, that's for sure. But I want to ask you that, this success has come after so many years of perseverance and hard work. When I saw that episode of Coffee with Karan, because I've spoken to you even before that, so I could connect every dot that you actually said, that there was a point of time that, you were not getting work and you felt frustrated, you felt like giving up and you actually had given up. Does it validate that effort that you've made in the last few years to get back what you've actually lost?
I always believe that hard work turns into luck. I always believe that people wait for luck to happen. It's not like that. For me, it's not like that. I've really worked hard for this because I knew I had the potential. I knew I had the capabilities. Only if I get those characters to play. It all started from Class of '83, then Ashram, then Love Hostel, where Ashram is like, my brother says Ashram is like Gadar on OTT platform.
That's true.
Until date people ask me when is the 4th season coming out. And the respect I got from Ashram was like as an actor. And then again, the magic of silver screen is something else. To be seen on the big screen and to get that kind of a reaction as an actor, it's like, wow, it's like every actor's dream to get that moment in their lives. But now I'm a little bit more nervous now because now I'm hoping I get characters which I can perform and challenge me, and I can create the same magic. And actors fail, actors succeed. That's a part and parcel of our life. And so I'm not scared. I know that people have now finally acknowledged me as an actor, and I always believe that an actor's inning is longer than being a star.
But sir, you've always been this person. Do you feel that it took everybody, not just the industry, but the people, the audience, that much time to acknowledge that fact that you are this person?
Maybe, people, my fans have stood by me from the beginning of my career. It's just maybe the whole way, my career shaped up, it just didn't fall in the right place. I've done so many hits, but nothing went to that level. When I started my career, I was like a craze for everyone, and it went on for 7-8 years. But then suddenly things started going downwards, and I was not someone who was insecure, so I never thought that, the whole system was changing. People were like, I thought people would come to me for my work, for giving me work because they see my work. But then the whole system changed so much, it became so competitive, and I never felt competition. I was always happy for the other actor to do well, It made me happy. I'm not just saying it.
Yeah.
But then what started happening was, behind your back, there were roles that would be coming to you, would be taken away by someone else. Things started, the pattern of getting work changed, and then because of that, because I'm not a very PR savvy guy, at that point of my career, I lost out on a lot, because how they create the perception of a person was not happening for me at that point. I think somewhere there, people's faith in me dwindled. It just became not as much. I always had faith in myself, and I think I have so much self-belief now, and I'm so focused and so, I feel really
happy. I think the validation is there that I just want to tell you that most times that I also feel like if people are being kind, secure about their positions, a lot of people who actually are not so secure in the same profession, they kind of edge away, but eventually the secure person edges
yes,
past.
I've always been told that be a good human being, be down to earth, be true to yourself, and I think people who feel that way always succeed eventually. How much they succeed is not, but they'll always, I always say that when I take my last breath, I don't feel guilty about anything as much, because we are not perfect.
This year has been fantastic for the entire family,
Yeah.
And there was this event where Rajveer, actually, when he was getting launched, he said that at the trailer launch that my father has seen a blockbuster, a hit film after 22 years. It's 22 years in the family that we haven't seen this. How do you react to success and failure? Were there trying times? Do you feel like because you come from a family, people have really overlooked that side where you also might be dealing with your own vulnerabilities?
I think everybody has to deal with their own vulnerabilities. It's not just us. We all go through this somewhere or the other in our life, where we have to struggle, we have to fight to survive, we have to really, really work hard. And so when my dad's film released, we were so happy because he got so much of love, because I don't even have to say it. Nobody could have brought that magic in that character as my dad did. And then when Gadar came out, it was like, what's happening? It just kept happening. It was like, wow. I'm like, are we dreaming? I was on top of the world. The whole family was on top of the world. We were so happy because we'd seen so much hard times in different ways that it just took away all the pain of the hard times. Just to get that kind of love and admiration and the respect. And then I didn't imagine that would happen to my film. I was happy from then. And then suddenly this has happened. Now my brother is so happy, my dad is so happy, my mom is so happy. My mom, whenever I'm walking around, "Mera animal kahan ja raha hai? Mera animal aa gaya." She does that with me.
How did she react to the film or your character?
She started crying because she couldn't see me die in it. ऐसी फिल्म मत कर जहाँ तू मर जाता है. ऐसे माँ, मैं एक्टर हूँ, अभी आपके सामने खड़ा हूँ ना, But obviously a mother can't see that. I mean, I was brutally killed, so
Yeah.
it's a sight no one can see.
I think even you couldn't see the ending of Rocky Rani. That's
Yeah, I
what you said.
couldn't. I walked off. I didn't know the story. I just couldn't handle it. I don't know. I'm like, at Karan's trial, and I'm like, I walked off, and people were wondering why I walked off. It was just, I couldn't do it. I couldn't see it.
So, you know, you're the youngest. So, of course, you have been the most pampered because I am the youngest in the family and I understand that. But at the same time, you know, when you are dealing with your own insecurities, your family has stood with you. There was a point where you, on Coffee with, and even in my previous interview, you had said that there was a point where in life you felt like your son had said something and you said that, no, this is not right, I should get up and start working. How did they react to this success, you know?
They're just, I just have to look into their eyes and I can see how proud they feel about their father. It's incredible. You know, it's just to see your kids, you know, because I wanted to set, they've seen me going through what I've gone through in my life, and then they're just so happy. They know, you know, I don't hide things. I'm there in front of them all the time, so they can see, and they're so happy for me.
And you know, you guys, my mother says this, that because we are very together, so you guys have always been there for each other through all times, you know. I remember Sunny sir coming out in an event in Delhi and speaking so highly about you when his movie was releasing, and then we did an interview where you also got emotional about Sunny sir. Today, when it's love in a different format, you know, the numbers are testament to the love and appreciation that you're getting. You were there for 15 minutes in the movie, sir, but the effect and the impact was so huge. How do you take that? Does it overwhelm you? Because I've seen you get emotional at so many occasions, and we could all feel that you know, you've been waiting for it.
I was. I mean, it's a dream of every actor to able to get that this moment happen in their lives. You know, it is like, it's surreal. It's just people. Someone told me that, don't, you know, it's like all your hard work is something you deposit into a bank, into a fixed deposit, and then suddenly you lose the password, and then one day you get that password and you're there because you work so hard. There's so much you've done, you know. I mean, you meet me, a lot of fans meet me, a lot of people meet me, and this is, so you've done this work, but nothing added up together for me to get this moment in my life, you know.
Yeah.
But I think it did eventually, because they knew I was capable. There was always the love and following and fan following, so they believed, and when I started believing in myself, I think I've changed a lot of things.
So you come after almost 2.5 hours into the movie, and a lot of actors in your space wouldn't have even taken it up because, you know, the insecurities that work in their heads, that, no, why would I do this role? It's very short, it comes 2.5 hours into the film, post interval. Did it never happen around you, and did people around you somehow put this thought or bring this up with you?
What, that?
That you're coming after 2 and it's a 15 minutes
No,
role.
I mean, I knew from the moment I met Sandeep, I knew he's giving me this 15 days to play this character, and I knew it's going to be great. How great it would be is my hard work as an actor, how I create this character, you know, and I think it just happened, you know. I never believe in the length of a role.
Yeah.
I always believe in the substance that role carries, the power that role carries. That's why even when I did Love Hostel, it wasn't a big role, but I knew, you know, that I can make it happen, and it happened. People wanted to make a spin-off of that character in Love Hostel,
Yeah.
and now they want a spin-off of Abrar.
We want it.
So I'm just saying that makes me so happy because the audiences want it, you know. So I think I never feared just 15 minutes and coming so late in the movie. I always knew that. He already told me that.
But after the teaser, there was anticipation. After the trailer, there was more anticipation. But after the movie, there's appreciation of a different level. And there is craze and euphoria of a different level. आपके character के हिसाब से मुझे ये जानना है कि बात हो रही है for you to be brought somehow in Animal Park, or maybe to actually have a spin-off on your character.
ऐसी तो ये सब fans बातें कर रहे हैं. They all want me. I have no idea, because even when I did Animal, I didn't know the whole story. He just told me my part and gave me the gist of the whole surrounding, what it is. But when I saw the film for the first time, suddenly I'm seeing it's going on, and then suddenly there's a clone of Ranbir again, and then he goes wild, and then suddenly comes Animal Park. So I'm sure, I mean, whatever Sandeep plans to write, I'm sure I would be there, but I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say?
I have an idea. So your third wife in the movie has identical twins.
Yeah.
I feel that could be you.
How can they make me look young, man?
No, they have aged, na? They've aged Ranbir.
But
eventually, in the end, he's an old Ranbir, so you never know. You never know.
Or someone told me that if he's had twins, that means he has a twin also.
Yeah, that could
Because
be.
only twins can have twins.
See? So do you think that, I feel that when we interview Sandeep, we'll of course put this in his head as well. How do you see life changing? Because you've never, despite coming from this family, even if your family didn't put that pressure on you, you said that there were times where you felt the pressure, right, of living up to what your father has created.
I wanted for him, I mean, I could never achieve what he's achieved. And I wish I could achieve even half of what he had done in his career to make him feel proud of me. But I think fathers are always proud of their kids. And today, I mean, my dad, I walked in one day after a couple of 3-4 days of the film releasing, and he suddenly says, Bobby, sab log pagal ho gaye tere liye. Because he's always sitting on the phone and looking at Instagram and YouTube, and he says, he said he was so happy. I said, Papa, I'm your son. It had to happen.
Another person who's actually stood by a rock, stood by you like a rock, is your wife.
Yes.
You know? And through and through. How did she react to this entire euphoria?
She's just so proud of me. I can see it in her eyes. My wife, my kids, my brother, because they all believed in me. Besides myself, at one point, my wife always told me, "Don't think less of yourself. You are something. That's why people loved you in the beginning of your career. Don't give up." And she stood by me through my worst time, and she's my strength. She's my backbone. So, I mean, I wouldn't be anything without her.
This version is called Bobby 2.0 for a reason. I think everybody is loving you in whatever you're doing. जो भी आप कर रहे हो वो बहुत लोग पसंद कर रहे हैं. तो मुझे ये जानना है कि when you look back, I remember the first time I met you when we didn't even speak to each other was at a CCL match. And unfortunately, you guys were losing that match.
Yeah.
And this was that phase where you were prepping for that film which didn't happen.
Yeah.
And you were already in that zone where you were not completely yourself. From then to here, how do you look back at those days? There were many years where people had actually completely neglected you, whether it's the audience, the media, everybody. And then suddenly there was this one thing that happened, and when people started noticing, and then films, and Salman sir ke saath you did a film. So how do you look back at those days? How difficult were those days?
They were really difficult, but they made me stronger in many ways, And the funniest thing is, I haven't said this to you, but I've said it in other interviews. When Sandeep called me, messaged me, I didn't believe it was him. So I found out and it was him, so I called him and I met him, and he meets me, and guess what he says to me? He says to me that I saw this photograph of yours and I want you to take you because the expression in your eyes, this is what I want. And he shows me the picture, and the picture is from CCL when I'm standing in the stand looking far away. So मैं हंसता हूँ, मैं बोलता हूँ मेरी बेकारी के दिन काम आ गए.
What's the way ahead from here? I think आप एक series कर रहे हो with Aryan.
I'm doing a web series. I'm doing Tamil film. I'm doing a Telugu film. So I'm doing interesting stuff.
Sir, there was a point you have even on Coffee with Karan, you've credited Salman sir and Shahrukh sir for believing in you and having faith in you. आज भी जब हम लोग बात करते हैं तो 90s का जो 90s के जो एक्टर्स है ना वो एक दूसरे के लिए कहीं ना कहीं पे एक दूसरे का साथ देते हैं. There is a point of time where there is a certain amount of brotherhood among all of you, even now, years, decades after you guys have debuted and been in top contenders for similar films, but there's a sense of brotherhood which is missing from this generation in a lot of ways.
When I met Ranbir, and he's such a big star, that I've seen him since he was young, and I used to always get very fascinated and attracted to his personality. And then he became my favorite actor. And when I was working with him, he gave me so much respect. He was so down to earth and so warm. And I worked in this industry with a lot of actors. I've never seen that side, He was always, like we were chatting, we were sitting and talking. We would talk about shopping because we both love shopping. We would talk about family, and I guess maybe because we both are from a film family who has seen ups and downs in their family life, and we respect that. And I think that's grounded both of us, and I just love working with him.
But there were times where you have worked with actors where your roles have been reduced, or you were being considered for films, and people have said that we don't want to work with him, and you've not been considered for the same role. How did you deal with that?
It hurt me, but I had no other way to deal with it but be stronger. Nothing can not hurt you, nothing can not make you sad, but you can't dwindle, you can't just pity yourself for all that, you just have to believe in yourself. And yeah, I mean, there was a time when I was told by producers, you have to talk to the star of the film and say, you're doing this film, or you want to do this film. I'm like, why do I have to do that? I know that person. And I did that. So these things happen. But so people think that, oh, I'm a star kid, not everything is easy for me. It's not. Every actor has to go through a struggle and a journey. Yeah. So, but that just made me stronger.
Finally, this question would be that, despite I've seen everybody in the family, your generation, of course, your father, and the coming generation. I met your son also at one of the screenings. Everybody is so grounded, despite knowing that they represent this family and this legion of heavyweights, right? How do you guys manage to have no sense of entitlement? And today also you live in a joint family. So how do you guys manage to have this no sense of entitlement at all?
Because we've never let the world influence us being normal. It's just been like that. My grandmother, my grandfather, I think what they taught my dad has come on to us. And I always wanted to have kids earlier so that what I've learned, maybe I won't be able to explain to them, but my parents will be there to explain to them. And that's what's so important, to be humble, to be a good human being.
I will just have a small game. Give me that phone. It's called Keeping Up with the Deols, only this one. So basically this is called Keeping Up with the Deols. It's a segment where I'm going to give you a situation. Because you stay in a joint family, you can take anybody's name from any generation who you think would be most likely to do these things, okay? So who's most likely to be the troublemaker?
My papa, he's a badmash. He's not a troublemaker, but he's a badmash.
Okay. Most sensible?
My wife.
What's the most sensible advice that you've got from her?
Don't be too emotional. Be strong. But then it's okay if you're emotional.
It is absolutely okay.
That's what she said to me. She said these three things to me, and eventually she just loves me. So,
who is most likely to get into a fight first?
For the family, my brother.
I think so. Be the problem solver.
My wife.
Okay. Who's most likely to start eating first?
Well, if I have something on the table and if I really like it, I'll jump on it.
But you had a really strict diet, no, for this one?
Yeah, I did have a very strict diet, but I had to do it. But I enjoyed it because even though I was torturing myself, because you feel so tortured doing that, I knew the end results would really benefit me.
Who is most likely to spill secrets of the family, like pet patla?
My wife keeps saying to me that I always can't keep anything inside me.
Really? Who is most likely to have the best sense of humor?
My dad. No one can outdo him, man. That man is amazing. He makes you laugh. He has such lovely jokes, and the way he reacts to things, and suddenly he'd say something while you're talking and he just makes you laugh.
Who is most likely to be the most loved member?
Me.
What about your kids?
I get too much love from my family.
What about your kids?
Both my kids. But my younger one steals love. He's just like that. Since the time I named him Dharam, and my mom and dad keep saying, my mom will say, ye to tere papa jaisa hi hai, bilkul. Because that's the kind of person he is.
Okay. Who's most likely to be the most romantic one?
Me.
Okay. What's the most romantic thing you've done?
So many things.
What's the last romantic thing you've done?
I don't know. I don't remember. I don't really like to think about it, but I know I'm romantic.
But I want to ask you this. I read somewhere today when I was just coming here that is it true that you snuck Tanya ma'am out at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the night for your first date? Is it true?
I used to gate crash parties.
For her?
For her. but she would not even look at me, and I used to gate crash parties everywhere she went. I would find out, go there, and try to make her at least look at me, and then finally that happened.
And did you get caught at home?
No. By then I had been through so many things in my life that they were just happy I've met someone nice.
Lovely. Who is most likely to have the best dancing moves?
My dad.
Okay. Among the kids, who's the best, you think?
I think both my sons.
Okay. Who's most likely to be an idealist?
My wife.
So also on that note, I'm going to ask you that, there was a point of time in your life, okay? There's so much love today, from trolling to getting love, and you said that you didn't know the whole story of Animal, There are two sides. There is one side which is believing it art is art and they're looking at it as a film, and there's also another side which has had issues with the film. When you watched it, what were your opinions on that?
Art is art. We actors, we look for characters to play which will challenge us, and that's what every actor desires, So we're not trying to promote things. We're just playing a part in a story, in a film, which is a reflection of what's happening in your society. You can't imagine these things, because how can you just imagine something like this? It exists,
Yeah.
So that's why stories are written. The world is changing, Social media lets you say anything you want, and half the time human beings like to put people down. That's human nature, So you can't stop that.
But you are unstoppable, and thank you for joining us on this episode of PathBreakers on Galatta India. It was lovely talking to you as always.
Thank
and
you.
I hope that you keep doing more films like this and you keep getting more and more and more love.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, this is Bobby Deol, and you're watching me on Galatta India.